Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Transgurus again. This time, apparently, we are three people, and we've got another theme called Harnessing the Power in Our Spirit. Or harnessing the power of our spirit, sorry, not in our spirit. So, Jimmy, would you like to go first?
Sure. So welcome everybody. I'm sorry Raji's not here. She always adds a value and another dimension to our
Mhm.
podcast. I really love her. And I know she's loved by many and she loves all. So today we're talking about the human spirit. So the human existence consists of three modalities: the mind, the body, and the spirit. Out of those three, two are finite. The mind and the body are finite. The mind can only do so much and the body can only do so much. And I know, again, I'm on the rooftop of the gym right now, parking lot, and I push my body to continue to grow and do more and more and more than the previous day. But I think that we can only go so, like Schwarzenegger can only do so many push-ups. But out of the three modalities that make up the human experience, our spirit is infinite. Our
Mhm.
spirit is infinite. It has no boundaries. And for the human living in a 3D world to try to visualize something that has no boundaries, it's sometimes difficult. But our spirit has no limit. It has no boundaries. There's it's uh, the only boundaries that we place on our spirit are the ones we place on it ourselves. Self-imposed limits. And I know I wrote a post a while ago where uh, uh, all I was able to connect the dots. It's taken me X number of years to be able to do so, and that I am a transgender Amazon warrior goddess,
Yes, you are.
and upon recognizing that, my spirit soars. Now, how does that happen? How does that happen? When we finally figure out who we are, our spirit will soar,
Mhm.
and that is our whole being elevated to a whole nother dimension. Find out what makes your spirit soar and go for it. For me, it was recognizing it's like now I here I am. Here I am in the flesh and blood, a living, breathing transgender Amazon warrior goddess. And that realization just makes me alive. And I will say this, whatever whatever vision you have for yourself, whatever goals you have, if you can imagine it, if you can think it, if you can speak it, you have within you all the necessary horsepower and capability needed to make it a reality. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had that vision.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So, whatever vision I know, okay, so I have this vision for myself. I pronounced it to the world. And I've been given the necessary horsepower to make it a reality, even with despite incredible setbacks, incredible the hip surgery, knee, shoulder, bicep reattachment, a hernia, ACL in my all kinds of things. But if you just keep going, one of the things required to realize your who you are is consistency and discipline and determination and focus. It's not one and done. You got to the rent for the person that you endeavor to become. The rent is due every day,
Mm,
and the result of this, your spirit will soar. Ella.
absolutely. I'm not sure if I am a same goddess as you are, but I try to do something. Bobby, your turn, girl.
Oh, thank you for watching too. We were just celebrating reaching 70,000 subscribers, and thank you. And I was just checking, and I think we'll be like, you know, add 1,000 more within like a 4 day period. And so I really appreciate and want to thank people for watching and telling your friends and subscribing. And it means a lot to us. And that's one of the reasons why uh, we talk about important things like how big is our spirit? What is a human being actually capable of? And as a transgender person who is going through transition, we learn an awful lot about that just in the process of trying to become real and become true. Ella had shared something yesterday uh, about it's kind of like a lie that we've been taught that we only have five senses. And this particular piece was no, you've got 15 senses. And it's like, what? But it falls along the lines of what Jimmy was saying with the body, mind, and spirit. And each one of those has some sensory aspect to it. And I wanted to be sure to read those because we all know about sight and sound and smell and touch and taste. Uh, and if that's all that, if that's all we use to perceive the universe in which we live in, we're going to be really limited because, for one thing, uh, our ears only hear a certain part of the quantum of the electromagnetic energy that we're all immersed in. Our eyes only see a certain spectrum of visible light waves, and we're immersed in stuff that we cannot perceive with just our five senses. And so that's where the other part comes in. And I need to just put on my glasses here so I don't want to forget anything. This person was talking about the soul has a mind, is what we think, and our will is our drive to act. Our emotions are what we feel, our affections are who we feel them for. And then imagination, it's the ability to see what isn't visible yet. So there were five more senses. And then they went and talked about five sensual sensory aspects of the spirit, which is prayer. The idea where Jimmy is talking about this is really getting into the quantum expansion of things, uh, because their definition of prayer is speaking truth to the divine. And I love that. I love that definition, speaking truth to the divine. Praise was declaring the truth to our reality, and that is a lot like gratitude. It's being truthful and honest about what we've got in our reality. Worship was aligning with the highest version of ourselves, and faith is belief beyond the evidence, and meditation was just uh, pure focus. And the point that these people were trying to make it's were to enter that quantum realm of spirituality and that realm that Jimmy's talking about, the eternal, always has existed, always will existed. That's where those quantum things with like prayer, speaking truth to the divine. Oh my gosh, how much better off would we be if we did that? And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because uh, in the trans community, I know it's not true of everybody, but for so many of us, we have suffered with gender dysphoria since our earliest memories, our childhood. And depending on when and where you were born and the kind of support you had from the mental health field and the medical field, um, you may have just been left alone to be terrorized and what is going on with me that my world wants me to do this and my brain wants me to do this and so you know if you don't feel safe you have this aspect of your personality that tries to keep you safe Call it an inner child if you want, and it tries to keep you small when you're young, uh, because small is safe. But then the older you get, and the more you realize that you're not living true to yourself. You're living a life that others expected of you. You're not living the life that's really true. You're not really living the life that your heart is, just will not hush about. This is who you are. And you're not living that. And so when we make a conscious decision to transition, it's like we're going to start living our truth. We are going to do that body, soul, spirit, as well as we can do that. And and I think what I experience in my journey, though, is when it comes to living large and really expanding on what's available to me in terms of the quantum universe and those kinds of experiences where we really begin to create our reality by the things that we choose to think about and to work on within ourselves. Um, that inner child of mine that's trying to keep me safe, that's trying to keep me protected, it's trying to keep me small. And so that's something that I can only deal with through things like prayer and meditation and those higher elements, because it's like, okay, it's time to stop living in fear and to start living in faith. And that I it's like that old saying is about learning how to fly. Well, what if I fall? And it's, well, what if you learn how to fly? And so it's that kind of dichotomy that's going on. And so spiritually, uh, I'm challenged to eliminate the fear part from my spirituality and to replace it with the faith part. And let's walk together. We don't have to be at odds about how we're going to grow on all of this. And so for me anyhow, I have had this, when it comes to unleashing and my spirit and growing in a very exciting way, I have got to realize that there was a huge part of me that believes keeping myself small will keep me safe. And I I wasn't created to be small. That doesn't serve anybody. So it's just one of the things we're working about through. And one of the reasons I'm glad we're talking about this tonight, because I think it's common to all of us in one way or another.
Yeah.
Ella?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we are all talking about the same thing, mind, body, and spirit, or body, mind, and spirit. So this is my perception of it. Okay, the body is something that we're going to be using while we're here, and it's temporary. The mind somehow is as well temporary because it has to do a lot with our own perception of things and what our brain works. The spirit is for always, is for eternity. If you look in many civilizations and many religions which believe in reincarnation, they see the spirit as something which is for eternity. If you look at spirituality, and I'm not only talking about Hindu religions, but in the spiritist religion, they're looking at spiritual as an eternal thing. Now, when we come to the earth, according to many of these religions, well, I think that in the beginning we've got a very strong spiritual relation, but throughout the years, I think that, somehow we lose a lot this very big connection. And some people manage to get this connection to their own souls again. I mean, I come from a family which we had quite a lot of spiritualist people within my family for many years. So we do believe a lot in this kind of connection between spirit and our own self. And it is for eternity. Because if you come very often, this is the huge power that is behind you. I have to say that as well, like something similar to Bobby and of course Jimmy, that being a transgender person, it kind of helped things a little bit to get this connection to myself and my spirit, because I was living in denial for many, many years. And by living in denial of myself to many years, I was living as well in denial of my spirit. And being in this denial, it kind of hurt things. And the moment that I started to transition and to understand and try to understand myself, the connection to my inner self increased. The meditations were better. The meditations were more truthful. Yes, sometimes you know the theory, but not the practice. And by what we're trying to do here is to say, hey, open yourself, find yourself, because the potential on your spirit is so unimaginably big. It's incredible. In the spiritualist religion, it is believed, they believe that the spirit comes in different bodies very often. It's not only once. And it can be even come not only as a person, but in other ways as well. And this is an evolution. This is part of your spiritual evolution, which will come afterwards, and you don't have to come anymore, probably. It is very powerful. Your spirit it's hundreds of thousands of years of knowledge which is behind you. It is extremely powerful. So learning to connect to it, learning to guide it, guide it, it means actually you get guided by the spirit, not the other way around. But learning to connect to it and to learn from it is highly, highly important and very strong for your life. How do I do this? Meditation. I do this by recognizing myself, to trust my feelings. It's part of you. It's a very big part of you. And it opens yourself to a completely different world, which is the spiritual world, which you're not alone there. There are thousands of spirits around you. But your spirit is directly with you. So this is a little bit of my bit for today or for right now. So I give to our friends and our gurus for the discussion.
I love what I'm hearing. I think I often say that you get the mind, body, and spirit, all the horses running in the same direction, you unleash a tremendous amount of horsepower. And I think that's one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons why, while a transgender person makes external body modifications so that the outside matches the inside.
Yeah.
And I remember several years ago, I'm in the gym and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I think I was probably doing squats or something. And I'm close to a lot of people in the gym. And I started crying. And I had to share with somebody uh, that I see my spirit right now, this is several years ago, right now, I see my spirit in human form.
Mm.
And what a revelation that was. And I recognize that if you, like what Bobby was talking about, uh, learn how to trust your internal compass, which is our spirit guiding us. A lot of this stuff we don't comprehend yet. A lot of this stuff, I think, are the collective human uh, consciousness hasn't evolved yet to be able to comprehend truly what's going on with our existence as a spiritual being. We are a spirit having a human experience, not the other way around. And
Yes.
I love what I'm hearing. So if we trust, learn how to listen to your instincts, and then that anxiety or that fear that Bobby was talking about, anxiety will be replaced with anticipation. And the idea is to believe in yourself and trust your journey, and you'll find out that this will happen.
Yeah.
Ella.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby, go
I,
ahead.
I yeah, I like that, Jimmy. And Ella, you used the term about being in denial, and and I think that's probably pretty commonplace at one point or another for transgender and non-binary people to find themselves. And um, you know, Jimmy gave that beautiful example of the body, mind, and spirit, and all the horses running in the same direction. And when you're living in denial, they're not. They're, they're all over the place, and you've got someone to go and and we expend an enormous amount of energy trying to live within the expectations that our environment is placed on us when our soul is saying, oh God, you're meant for so much more. And, um, you know, I think one of the common things that we hear if we're in a non supportive environment is, oh, what you want is just totally out of alignment with what we believe is sacred. And that whole time, like Jimmy is saying, and Elle is saying, you're the most sacred parts of your soul are saying, no, I'll tell you what's sacred. You were created to live this really specialized kind of life, and what you need to do to bring yourself into alignment with all of your potential, that is what is sacred for you. And uh, and people that are just all caught up in only living the life that's expected of them, only living the life that they can see with their five senses, sight, smell, touch, hearing. I'm not going to go beyond that. It's safe, it's small, and I don't want to knock that, but when Jimmy talks about realizing that she is an Amazon warrior goddess, it's like, oh my gosh, what what a universe that opened up for you. I'm sure it did. And the whole way you look at possibilities, and I think of myself as a warrior too. Um, uh, I, I'm I'm working hard. I'm a warrior for peace and education and eliminating ignorance, and I work very hard at that every day. But I couldn't do it without the spiritual assets that are constantly telling me this is right, this is who you are in alignment with something sacred, and you have found something that we all need to know. Not that everybody's going to be trans or anything like that, but I think all of us have this spiritual longing that know that we were created for something large, and we're not doing anybody any favors by being small and trying to just keep all the people around us comfortable. It's like, no, no, you're going to be really uncomfortable with me for a while because I cannot do that. Uh, I, I'm going to live my life, and I can't be restrained by what you're going to think of me. I can only go by my own internal compass. So I think it's an important topic. And the thing about being in denial, I think, is where you start realizing how much energy you are expending repressing who you were created to be. And when you stop doing that, and it really has a chance to glow and grow and blossom, you really have no idea where that's going to take you, except that it's going to take you to a place that's better than you ever imagined. So, back to you, Ella.
Yeah, I have to say that, fears are there for a reason, obviously.
Mhm.
You know, it's part of our alarm system. Somewhere it's part of our alarm systems. The reason is that the difficulty is to understand our fears. And when you connect to your spirit, I think you find that you actually start more to understand our fears and why. Hey, come on. I mean, I have to say, the more I am in peace with myself, or the more I know my spirit is, and I can find myself in my spirit, the more I am peaceful, the more I am at peace with myself. And of course, I've got the morning thing that there is some fear coming up from somewhere. And then you just say, hey, is this real? Or is it just a kind of, warning sign?
Mhm.
Accept warning sign and go to the next step.
Yeah.
This is what I always try to do. But I mean, I am a human being too. I've got a body, and my mind and my body, they have got all these alarm systems which are wired to make sure that I survive.
Mhm.
So take your fears from there as a warning system to allow you to survive. But connect to your spirit, because this gives you a real peaceful. I mean, take those gurus in India, which are in places where everybody's shouting, and they don't even budge a bit. They are in meditation, or in India or Tibet. They are in full meditation. It's not part of them. It's not part of them. They are in their world. I think, I mean, everybody has got the right to do what they want. I'm not sure if I wanted to be a guru like that. It means that would go into meditation for days and days and days and days. But, a certain part of meditation and a certain part of even, praying brings you nearer to your spirit. And most important of all, for me, it is really the most important thing of all. Trust your feelings, trust yourself. That's how you get along. So, with those words, let's make a last round because we are just on time for the half an hour. Jimmy, you start.
Okay, so I just thought I would read this little my self proclamation. My name is Jimmy Leggett. I am a transgender Amazon warrior goddess. My spirit soars with this realization. Inside of me already exists everything needed to self actualize. I am guided by my internal compass. I am grounded by belief in self. I am inspired by what can be. I recognize the collective consciousness and that I am part of something far greater than myself. I am a child of the divine. I understand my obligations and responsibilities. I move forward with purpose. I travel with a sense of wonder and anticipation. I live in harmony with all things. What I seek is seeking me. We must realize that we live in a participatory universe. We are the co-creators of our life. Try to understand the immense power of our thoughts and words, or these are the seeds that cultivate our reality.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Your last.
Oh, that is. Oh, I'm so glad you shared that, Jimmy. It's beautiful. And uh, what a wonderful thing to come back to whenever you need to come back to it, because the truth is the truth, no matter how you're feeling from day to day. It reminded me of one of my favorite C.S. Lewis quotes is, "You don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body." and and it's just
So,
that reminder is, yes, we were given a body that is full of pure energy to create the life that we can envision, the life that has really been kind of is available to us. And that's the best way I can look at it, is that because we have life, because we have a right to exist, because we have life, we are filled with the pure creative energy we need to create our best life. And that's what I hope we're encouraging people to strive for when they watch us, to believe that they can do it, and to be three or four people that have gone down that pathway, uh, and and to let you know it's possible. So.
with those words, um, and I really appreciated what you've told. I've got something similar to Jimmy as well. It's not as well done as Jimmy's, but I still have got to work on it.
Oh,
But it's
sure.
really it's something that I repeat to myself every day in my mantras. And it is something which is very important for me every day. I just, just a kind of remembering where we are and what we're doing here. So it's just so important. Anyway, with those words, thank you very much for watching Transgurus.
Yes,
It was
thank you.
really great to be with you. I'll be traveling in the next weeks, but we are making sure that every time there is a Transgurus. So, bye everybody. See you next week or see.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and bye everybody.